Hey, I wanted to talk today a little bit about an experiment I've been doing on myself as I've been fumbling my way forward step by step, because I think that it might be a useful tool for some of you to try as you figure out your next steps. And the tool itself it's actually really basic. It's to ask myself a series of questions, especially when I find myself in that, oh God, place of abject terror and fuck, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. And those are stories in my head. I actually have, I think, more momentum and awareness than I give myself credit for. But I think you might be able to appreciate the fact that we can all work ourselves into a bit of a tizzy from time to time. So right now, as I'm reformulating my business and certainly continuing to teach and do Akashic Record readings and coaching more long-term one-on-one work these days, trying to figure out what is going on. Like, why am I being asked to do this dance and to put myself out there in this way that feels a little raw? And I think there's something that I'm discovering as I meander and fumble my way forward, which is that each of us is perhaps being asked to let go of the stories, let go of the expectations, and really become masterfully acquainted with our own truth, and to express that, and to understand that however we express that and whomever we are in any given moment, that's enough. And that light that we each possess is worthy and worth being shared with the world, and the world can benefit from it, even when we do feel confused and uncertain, even when we don't particularly think that we have any wisdom to share. Perhaps it's in honoring each of those moments, wherever we are in those moments, that we shine our light, and we also empower others to shine their own light, to understand that they too, wherever they are in their journey, are enough. So I've been trying to figure out, well, how do I negotiate this whole path if I let go of these stories of who I need to be, of how I need to show up, if instead I really get clear on what feels true, and how do I do that? How would I, in fact, do things? Who would I be? What would my decisions be from moment to moment? So, of course, one of the biggest stories is, oh my God, I need to make more money. I need to be bringing in more revenue. I need to be successful. Of course, you can understand those things, or, oh God, I feel lazy, or, I'm taking too much time to do this, or why am I not on top of my plan? Those are a lot of the thoughts that keep repeating in my head. And I'm sure that you could probably understand how those thoughts come up. So my little tool that I've been using to experiment and set my way through this is to simply ask myself, well, what if I assumed instead that I am whole and complete as I am? Just for a moment, just, for 5 seconds, I'm going to entertain the thought that I am complete as is, that I'm enough as is, that this notion of success, I've already gotten there. What if I give myself in this moment a reprieve from thinking I need to bring in more money? Just in this moment, for 5 seconds, I'm going to give myself that break. What if I let go of the label that I'm being lazy by taking a moment to rest, or taking a moment to think and not pushing forward? What if I set that aside? If I were to set those labels aside, if I were to see myself as full and complete and whole, if I were to see myself as being cared for and being supported, how would I negotiate this moment? What's the decision I would make? What would I choose to do? And what I've found is that when I strip away those assumptions and when I strip away those stories, oftentimes it actually liberates me. And not in I'm just going to kick off and go sit by the pool and do nothing with my life. Rather, it empowers me to make a decision that feels very true and sometimes very brave. Always kind of very brave when you choose for yourself. To move in a path that I wouldn't have perhaps even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was very caught up in living life for and through others, in crossing things off the list and dotting my I's and crossing my T's and doing things the way I thought they should be done and the way I thought would meet with the most approval from other people. And at the end of the day, as much as we all might have opinions on everyone else and get into everyone else's business, really, we're more consumed with our own stories and our own suffering than we are about other people. And so living my life for and through others, I might get temporary approval from them, but that didn't make me happy. That didn't bring me joy. That certainly did not make me healthy. I, struggled all the time with feeling run down and worn out and a little bit pissy because I was trying to live my life on others' terms and not doing what I needed to feel supported and whole. And what I've realized is as I set aside these assumptions that I need to please others or that I need to bring in X amount of money or live my life in a certain way, as I choose to question those assumptions and instead move towards something that feels truer, there's a peace that comes with that. And a sense of things are going to be okay. And as so many people like to say, everything is figure-outable. And that's like the most annoying statement ever, but it's true. Dang it. That I can take a step at a time and that I will find my way. And as I've experimented more and more with setting aside certain assumptions that seem to cripple me and freak me out and replace them with perhaps more empowering storylines, I found that negotiating these twists and turns are that much easier. And that it's a little more playful, that it's a little more joyful, because it's like, oh, this is a game. This is meant to be a little bit of a maze, but there can be joy in that rather than terror and, oh my God, it's the end of the world. So I put that out today because I think we all perhaps need that reminder that we can question the assumptions that we are operating under, that we can look at these stories that we've been subscribing to, that so many around us are subscribing to, and say, hey, what if I kind of went about my day in loving disbelief of everything that I have been taught is true? What if I embraced a certain lightness of being and a certain playfulness and let go of some of this heaviness and the self-sacrifice and the everything needs to be hard, because that's a big story, isn't it? What if I embraced a little ease? And I'm finding that the more that I let go of the judgment, the more that I embrace ease, the more that I think, what if I move towards what feels supportive, what feels joyful? That in fact, I'm able to be more present and probably to make a bigger contribution to others, to this world, than if I'm just exhausted and worn out and resentful and tired and drained. So, something to think about, something I will continue to think about and do, and that's about it. Feel free to share your comments below or questions, and I will talk to you soon. Big hugs and love.